Happy New Year, guys. Today I'm bringing you the first video of 2025. I'm going to be showing you how to go from 0 to 500k on FC25. So if you're new around here and you need a better team, better players, or you just want to open some packs, you're in the right place, and all you've got to do to say thank you is drop a like down below and of course subscribe. We will be doing an account upgrades giveaway. All you've got to do to enter is get involved in the free or premium Discord, and you will get entries, of course, double entries for the premium Discord, and we'll be doing that towards the end of this month. And of course, as usual, if you do want to buy some coins, well, you want the best team in FC25? Yeah, baby! Do you want to be able to buy players like this or this and not be stuck with a team like this? Oh! Then you need to head over to skycoach.gg, select the amount of coins or which weekend league boost you'd like, make sure to pop in Pro Recall at checkout, and enjoy your new team. So last video we did 0 to 200k, where we did actually end up doing some bidding on some 85 rated cards. So we're going to go and get rid of those now. We've actually won a few of those. We've got these three here. We've also got some additional ones, so we're just going to check the price in now. So they are 3,200 now. So once again, very, very easy profits there that we've got off each of those. And of course, on the scale that we want to do in order to go from sort of your 0 to 100k all the way to your 0 to 500k, that sort of next big step, we'll just be doing some things like this in a much bigger sample size. So instead of doing like 3-4 cards or 10 cards, you're going to bid on 50 to 100 cards to really hammer it in that you're going to pick up maybe 10-20 of those and make that extra profit. Once you have built your first 100k, of course, when you're moving on and doing your investments or your bidding filters, you have a lot more to work with. And here are another two of the ones we picked up. So all of those, getting those for near the min price for the 85s right now, which is really good. Obviously, we're getting a decent profit off of them to start. Now, of course, when we do go from making, like I say, that 100k, you want to initially just go for special cards, basically walkouts and above. So once you've moved on a little bit, you of course need to be making more profit per card. Now, previously, informs were a really good investment. They were really good to snipe. They've actually obviously been used in a lot more SBCs recently. So they're a little bit harder to do trading with because, of course, they're a little bit more popular. There's going to be more people trying to buy informs now than there has been in the previous weeks. As you can see, we've risen from basically 11,000 coins, you know, min price for these cards, all the way up to 17k. You know, you've got this one here. Obviously, I'm going to miss that because I didn't instantly snipe it, but some ridiculous snipes can be found here, obviously, because the minimum for informs is around 6,000 or 7,000 below what they're going for currently, but they were going for that not even a couple weeks ago. You've got a massive bracket of people who are going to be incorrectly listing informs and making those mistakes. Now, if you've got any informs in your club, it would absolutely be worth just going through and seeing if you paid for any of them, if any of them are sort of 84, 83 or anything like that, because it'd be worth getting rid of those at the moment. Now, if you look at Righton, for example, I got her for 21,000 coins. She is pretty much sat at around 21k, so it's a little bit more that I'm going to have to wait, maybe another SBC before I get her listed and make the profit. Of course, in the meantime, I can invest in informs that are sort of 86, 7, 88, 89, those kind of numbers, because they are going to be easier to make profit on. If we even look at Righton, for example, she of course has her Thunderstruck card and then she has her inform. Now, we can snipe the inform and potentially, you know, you might come up with one of her Thunderstruck cards as well. It's obviously a little bit more unlikely. We could also get some bids going for her. The aim with her would be to invest, to hold a little bit until this card rises. Now, I can see this card going up to 30k, maybe even 25, 26. It will obviously depend on what kind of comes out, what SBC is going to get these cards to rise. But this one here, for example, 19,250. Now, if I sell that right now for 21k, EA tax on 21k is about 1,000 coins. So we realistically be walking around with around 600-700 coin profit after. But what we will do is we're going to pop it on our transfer list and wait until she rises, maybe even to 25. Maybe I'll jump the gun early and just get rid of her quickly, but it should be an easy one to make profit on. Now, evidently, we can still make profit off her just from doing the sniping. I would suggest maybe at 19k right now, just to make sure that you're making near 1,000 coins per card. Obviously, at 21k, EA tax is actually 1,050. So at 19k, we'd be making 950 coins per card. Obviously, it's 1,000 coins basically a card there for that much. If we can get a few of these, we are looking at a very decent profit. Obviously, initially, when you're on, you know, going to try and make 100k, you don't have enough coins to have these big jumps per card that you get. But if you imagine that first Righton we would have got sort of 700 coins. When you're initially doing, you know, lower trading with maybe 4 or 5k, you're maybe making 400, you know, 500 coins per card. And on this, you're making double that. And obviously, you know, it only takes 10, 20 cards for you to be making a seriously good amount. If you don't have much luck with Righton, you can go over to any similarly rated inform. So they're going to be very, very similar in price. If we we go, Katoto here, 21,500, pretty much bang on. That 20k, little bit too low, I think, or sorry, a little bit too high. We'd kind of want it 19,500 for her. You can see she's a little bit more expensive than Brighton. It's going to be, you know, very close for all of these kind of informs, but we can go from one to the other and just have a look through. Of course, we've got Footbin. We can have a look at cheapest by rating and make sure they are in line with the costs. Now, of course, if we don't have any luck with regular sniping, we can do a compare price. Obviously, being that this one is 20k, it's a good one to compare price off. It looks like, oh, we've got 19,750. It's a little bit more than I'd like to pay. I would have rather paid 19,500, but I will say that price for a Katoto, it's a no-brainer. You know she's going to go up. There's going to be SBCs that cause that, and I could sell her right now and make profit. So you've got those two options. If you're an investor, you can be an investor, and if you're just a straight trader, you can do that too. Now, of course, we can introduce bid into this and do Katoto on bid. So obviously with the bid, we're looking for a much cheaper price. If we can get maybe, I'd like to say 19k as a max, but see if we can get, I mean, look, there's not many cards there, so what it might be is actually we're going to have to go to maybe 18k for this one. Sorry, 19,500, and just see if any come up for that price. We're going to bid 16,250 on this one, and we will bid, I'll put this up to 18 as well. We will come back to these and hopefully win at least one of them. So we've got that at 19, not many cards coming up. 19,500. There's not too many more, to be fair. There isn't a lot of these that have really a low max price. Clearly, a lot of people basically just putting her up for 19 or 19,250, you know, 19,500, and basically just getting her quick sold instantly. I've got the numbers wrong, but you get the point. And with the Winter Wildcards promo, we've had a ton of cards, which means we've got a ton of options for filters where we can actually make a really decent amount. First of all, if we go for England, Winter Wildcard, and Premier League, you've got Bowen, you've got Hudson-Odoi, we've got Mainu. Obviously, Mainu is currently at his sort of max or his minimum buy now, so he's going to be a problem. Similar for, I think, Hudson-Odoi. I think some of these cards are just stuck at crappy minimum buy nows. But luckily, Bowen, Gay, and also Delap, don't cancel me, that is his name, they are all very similar in price, and they're all around that kind of 20,000 coin mark. So you can see here, we've got a few of Gay here. There's one at 10,750 start price. You've got a lot going at 20k. Obviously, evidently, 20k is kind of on the lower end of what he might be going for. He clearly, regularly, is probably going for a little bit more. It looks like possibly Bowen. I'm just trying to work out if he's also got a victim of this bad price cap. Your minimum for Delap is 10,500. Your minimum for Gay is 16,500. So a little bit different. And I can't find Bowen's on him, but I'm assuming Bowen's has been messed up. Either way, we can go at 1,800. We can go in at 18k, we can even go in at 19k, and we'd be looking at a lot of Gay. Now that one there at 18 is definitely a buy. We'll take that. He goes to 20k, so we're literally making a straight 1,000 coins off the bat there. Once again, very similar pricing to before. I could probably actually, do you know what? We could probably actually squeeze a little bit more coins because he was actually worth a little bit more. Now, of course, we do have a couple players on this. We can go again, we can search for more of these players, and basically we can spend as much time of it as we want until we can upgrade to the next level of pricing. So for this right now, we're set around 20k. We're on, you know, maybe 100,000 or so coins. Maybe when we get to 200k, we want to move it up to players that are 50, 60k and move that up with the budget that we're working with. Obviously, with this, you know, bear in mind, you know, if you're sniping at 20k, you can only get 5 or 6 cards if you're at 120k. Whereas if we go to 200k and then we get, you know, 50k a card per snipe, then we can at least do 4 of those, rather than moving up too quickly and not being able to snipe enough. Now another one, moving up in the price in a bit, we've got Winter Wildcards Hero, England and Premier League. Now for this one, we've got McManon's card. So both of these here, you got a 60k card and a 110k card, I think it is, if we just have a look at the price in here. So at 70k, maybe even 50k, you can get that first McManon card, and then the second one starts showing up, I think, nearer the 100k mark. Obviously, as you can see, it is the more expensive one, that second card there. As we can see, it's coming in just over that 100k mark. So they're basically double in price. But the good thing about this is we should be able to get snipes on both of them. It is just about hopefully getting that good listing. Now that one there, we have been very unlucky. We've missed that one at 42k, because if he goes for 50, that would have been about it's like 6k profit after EA tax. So that is a little bit gutting that we've missed that one there. That was a beautiful snipe that we've had the displeasure to not get our hands on. But hopefully we can make up for it. If we can get like a 45 even, I'd be pretty damn happy. 49, not quite what we're looking for. If we could get that 40... 46 would give us a 1.5k profit, or maybe a little bit more, maybe 2k if we get it gone at just above 50k. If we could have got that, yeah, that 42 would have been very, very nice. A little bit gutting that we've missed it. You know, you've seen the good snipes though. It's just we didn't even get an attempt at actually getting that snipe, which is always sad. Now, of course, what is cool about this promo is, for example, with Erling Haaland and with Smith, we have the ability to just snipe those individual cards again, and you have two versions of the card. So if we have a look here, we have Erling and his centre back version, and then we also have his striker card. Now, what would be cool is if we could have sniped if Scholzer was not absolutely trash, you know, him and Haaland together. But as you can imagine, Scholzer's price is on the absolute floor. Now, you can include all of Scholzer's cards and Haaland in a Norway striker filter from the Prem, but basically they're just worth so little it doesn't work anymore. Now, if we go to around 1.1 million coins, we should be seeing both the Haaland cards or thereabouts. So you've got 930k, seems to be the lower end for the worst Haaland, you know, the defensive Haaland, and then we've got our striker Haaland coming in at just over 1 mil. So obviously, there's a big gap between them, but that isn't that much of a big gap when you're this high up. You know, when you're at 1 million coins, 50k is a very small percentage of your pricing. It's very similar to what we're working with on these lower filters. So if we look at, in terms of what we need to do for EA tax, profit, things like that, for the 930k one, we realistically need to be picking them up at 870 to be making a decent profit. Obviously, we'd be going for selling him at 940. We'd need to pick him up at around 870, and we'd be looking at a decent profit. Obviously, EA tax on this is about 45,000 coins, so you've got to factor that in. Obviously, if you add 45 to this, it would bring us to 915, I think, leaving us with about 15 to 20,000 coins profit available. Of course, I have the same situation with Smith, exactly the same setup. Obviously, with this one, you are looking at a 1 million coin card and an 800k card, so not really hugely different, but both can be a little bit varied. Now, when we go over to our transfer targets, you can see that we have lost one of the Katotos. Now, we are going to bid on this one for 19,250. We're going to leave that one for 20. Obviously, we've already bought them for less than 20. I don't know why people would bid for basically more than what you can snipe the card for. Okay, so they've realistically bidded us above what we'd want to spend on that card, because obviously we're already sniping them for that price, but we can go in and we can go back and do some other bids. The other thing you do want to do, guys, of course, is subscribe to the channel, drop a like down below, make sure to follow me for more guides.